Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a best of 3 Terran versus Zerg. 2 players I'm excited to showcase and see if they've improved over the last few months. Both of them right on the cusp of breaking into that top level. One of them has been there before and the other has been a perpetual underdog. Speaking of, let me introduce the Korean Zerg from Team Alpha X here in this warty New Year's match. It's Ragnarok. Objectively cool name, of course, but definitely a bit of an underdog in almost any match. But we'll have to see if he truly is against this maybe once and future Mech King. One of the most long-standing Terrans in StarCraft 2 history, one of the few players who's done their obligatory military service in Korea and come back to playing and rejoined Team Storm. It's GuMiho. We'll see if he takes us to McDonald's once again. I'm optimistic. He hasn't found that top level of success, but he's always been the Terran player who comes at the game from a little bit of a different angle. And that is something, especially with the way Terran works, is quite hard to do. With Protoss, you can find another timing. With Zerg, there's a lot of varied mid-game aggression. But with Terran, you've got a couple styles that are figured out. Like, these are the styles that work. And just because of the way Terran works and how their production mechanics require you to prepare in a certain way, there aren't too many players who are like, I'm just going to go mech. And I don't necessarily think GuMiho will go for it here. And you don't want to be predictable, right? Like, if you, especially with mech, if you go for it, most games, people will prepare for that. And that's one of the big weaknesses of mech right now, is just how vulnerable it is before you get to that critical mass. So I'm going to stop teasing everyone with it, because I think there's less than a 50% chance we'll see it in any of these potentially 3 games. To start off, 3, oh my god, well, this is definitely a different angle. So, 3 CC in production, not really the most surprising thing, right? 2 Reapers, though, and a 3rd command center at the 3rd, and at the other 3rd, where there's unlikely to be an Overlord or a Scout, so he's trying to hide it a little. And the 2 Reapers are definitely going to throw Ragnarok like, was that a misclick? Or is that on purpose? I'm not... Jimmy, how many times do we have to do damaged health bars? All right, this isn't GSM. People don't want to see the cursor all the time. So, he's going to get away with it, because nobody does this. This is another one of those things, if you did this every game, it would never work. But if you mix it in every 1 in 10, 1 in 15 games, mix it in on different maps, like, almost nobody's going to send out Zerglings. He's actually going to have the 3rd by the time link speed finishes. So, yeah, he's going to get away with it perfectly fine. The issue is, of course, the reason you don't usually build at the 3rd is not necessarily because it can get delayed, but because you don't have enough units to protect it. Like, you literally just don't... You have a few Hellions. If they chose to build Roaches or even just overwhelm with Lings, it's very unlikely you'll hold on to it. So that is more of the reason why you don't see 3rds on location than even the vulnerability of building it. But, of course, if you keep the pressure on and you show your opponent, I'm just playing your normal 2 base, whatever. The Overlord does get in. There's a Raven on the way. A Raven on the way. Definitely a not infrequent, but a less common choice. Raven helps control the creep. Raven isn't Swiss Army knife at Terran. You can pretty much do whatever you want. It looks like he's going to add the Rex onto the tech lab here after the Raven completes. And probably start stim, as having this many minerals early does lend itself towards bio, unfortunately, but you're even more vulnerable when you got a 3rd base out there like this. So no mech this game, but that 3rd base and a Raven opener, and GuMiho known for these different styles. Ragnarok got to be scratching his head a little. He's got enough Zerglings. Maybe he was thinking... Oh, he thinks it wasn't all in. He made a Baneling nest. He's making spore crawlers. Oh, the mind games have definitely worked. But at the same time, he has 55-ish drones. He's starting to lair. So Ragnarok, while he did make additional units for defense, since GuMiho hasn't really put on any pressure, Ragnarok still managed to get over 60 drones here momentarily. He's starting double Evo. He might be able to just straight up fight the queens with auto turrets. Technically, you can use interference matrix against queens. Those Evo chambers actually create a bit of a choke point for the Zerglings, making it that much harder. The Hellions roasting here. 9 drones down. The auto turrets boxing out. The knitting crew and the queens can't get around. Get out of here! Well, that was odd. I know. That... Most of the Hellions survive. So even when GuMiho not focusing on them at this Flex Terran, this bio-curious play, where he's still building Hellions. He has lost only 3, he still has a bunch on the field, some of them badly bruised, but can control the creep here. At first I thought he wasn't really asserting much map control, but killing those drones and keeping most of this alive has put GuMiho in a pretty comfortable spot, and he's completely skipped the vulnerable phase of taking your expansion. He's completely skipped the part where you're supposed to fight for your third and make sure there are no counterattacks. He did that by just taking the third. Now, well, losing the Raven isn't great. That's bad. That's not good. The Raven was an important part. It did a lot of work, but keeping it alive means you can spend everything on mules. Ragnarok now going to see a fully walled off third, using 6 depots to make sure Zerglings don't get through. It's worth it. Okay. Yeah, this is 100% bio-curious here. He has more supply in Hellbats than he has. He's gonna drop Hellbats on the queens. Oh, getting hot and heavy. And this is... Wow. Okay. Alright. Now he's building Widow Mines behind. Pre-splitting. You don't expect the Hellbats to be in the Medivacs. Hey, GuMiho. Are you gonna do it? He's doing it. He's dropping them in the mineral line. Ragnarok taken somewhat by surprise, going for the drones. I'm not sure if this really had the dramatic effect that he was hoping for, especially with 1-1 in combat. Oh, no. Oh, sweet Terran Jesus. He just walked some Banelings and killed 22 SCVs. So for all of GuMiho's cute and fancy plays, getting a counterpunch across the jaw there. 22 SCVs has almost entirely undercut. Yeah, so 15 to 22 workers killed in favor of Ragnarok with 1 decisive counterattack. GuMiho was busy microing Hellbats. I stand by the idea that if Hellbats were removed from the game, that would be a buff to Terran. But GuMiho here, trying to make it work, and he does, unfortunately. It cost him a lot at home. It's by no means over, obviously. He still has 60 SCVs. He's got 2-2 on the way. But the ability to really assert map control has been delayed and now shut down by the fact that Ragnarok has more than enough production. The creep spread no longer can be heavily contested, and that makes it even harder and harder as time goes on. GuMiho's just going to have to buckle down and try to max out with a 2-2 army as efficiently as possible, and hopefully before Ragnarok takes most of the map. Ragnarok has 80 drones. He's got an infestation pit on the way. His upgrades in production as well. There are Widow Mines, which are a wrinkle in many different strategies. But with Hydras behind, the Widow Mines aren't the be-all, end-all. This drop not doing much. On the right flank, the scan, the stim. Gonna snipe off a few creep tumors. The Lings coming in. Widow Mine connects. And it does require detection, as an armory completed a while ago. Ragnarok, Hydra upgrades, Hive Tech, Lurker Den. The classic combination. Well, this drop slipping into the less damage medevac, and now GuMiho's kind of in the that one lane got everybody excited. Oh, the entire army. Oh, guys, this typical group project drags him back a bit, and this is the most important time for GuMiho to put himself out there on the map. Before the Lurker Den is done, while he has those 2/2 upgrades, now is the time to shine as a Terran player. Unless you're willing to go toe-to-toe in the late game, this is when you want to get the damage done. Drop on the left, shut down. Drop on the right, slapped away. There is no Ghost Academy. 7 Lurkers in production. Ragnarok is ready to roll. Yeah, the Hive is finishing up. Widowmine's good connections, good connections. Another stim. Widowmine gonna cut down. Good split. Baneling's negated. This set of rocks here. Not sure who it's helping more at this point. I think Ragnarok's gonna want to rip it down when he maxes out. Still denying bases. No Ghost Academy. Oh, there is a Ghost Academy. No Ghost in production, more relevantly. Here, for GuMiho. Alright, there go the rocks. Getting in the way of him attacking into GuMiho's fourth. The minefield is solid. Turrets on the way. GuMiho starts 3-3, as does Ragnarok. At least +3 carapace and +1 ranged. That's going to be a no on this base, says the Widowmine. More mines. The Lurkers are spotted. Wait. They didn't attack. He's not in hold position, is he? Might have been slightly out of range. He doesn't have seismic spines yet. Just kind of going around where the Lurkers are. There's actually no defenses near the third or fourth base. I guess third base here. GuMiho target fire. Here come the Banelings. They connect. Oh! Eats a big hit, but he does get the base. Not a huge part of Ragnarok's economy. Manual detonation deals with the Widowmine at the 5th. Another base down. Zerglings gunned down, but the Banelings means that a pickup is in order. A whole lot of army supply at home for GuMiho here. And a whole lot of command centers. More CCs than a particularly successful internet scammer, and he needs the space to take them. On this map, the struggle is covering both lanes, and without ghosts, you can't really do it. It takes a long while, especially for Terran, to move their units from the right to the left side of the map, even though it is more of a vertically focused one. And it is a little misleading, but it's relatively easy for Ragnarok to slip around into the bottom right corner of the left-hand side. It's just up the center is where GuMiho is concentrated. Another round of Lurkers stepping forward. Liberators do not have range, but there's a fusion core on the way. Nidus network. Oh, juicy Widowmine hit gets the majority of the Baneline. There are a few ghosts. Hold position to try to keep things out of Lurker range. Oh, GuMiho with a dangerous drop. Oh, there's a single Lurker here. Alright. Might want to scan. Yes, does. Deals with the Lurker, but the rest of the units... Oh, no. A bit of miscontrol. There's a... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nidus.
Your forces are under attack.
Well, Ragnarok using an interesting announcer. An inspirational one, I guess we'll say. Meanwhile, the smash at the front and the Nidus at the back. Unloading Zerglings. Ragnarok with the 1-2 punch. Well, more like a punch and a tickle here, but a very annoying tickle. One of those, like, you can't quite reach. The ghosts pop out into a world of pain. More ghosts coming in. It was just Zerglings. No Lurkers with this, which means it should be able to be cleaned up, but GuMiho looking the other way, whereas Ragnarok looking to smash. Zerglings into the natural. The depot's down as well. The armory is vulnerable. Every angle being attacked. Nuclear missile in production for GuMiho, but he might not have any bases left with which to defend. Lurkers on the right. Ragnarok everywhere. GuMiho starting to clean things up. Another Nidus network with the surviving Zergling. These Widowmines, 6 kills, 13 kills, mostly Banelings. We see more. A Viper is done. Ragnarok consolidating. Cloak on the way for the Ghost. He went nuke before Cloak, which is definitely a dramatic play. Another Nidus in the main, just as GuMiho runs out. Oh, he's running back. All right, all around we go. Nidus shut down. He has to keep some of his supply and attention in the main, lest he lose all his production to lurkers. And it looks like we're transitioning back into the mech, as more factories in production. Liberators already, 2 at a time. A couple lurkers taken out almost for free there. A Widow Mine connects as well, but this is not a planetary fortress. Where's the rest of the army? He lifts. Great splits out of GuMiho, but that's a lot of lurkers to deal with. The ghosts are in position. Most of the Lings and Banes are gone, which means the ghost firing squad can get some work done. It can be interrupted, though, by the lurkers themselves. 2 lurkers down. A pretty comfortable set of snipes here. Oh, the good split. Working his way through. And the ghost count is high enough he can just... Oh. Widowmine kills the Medivacs. Planetary vulnerable. Liberator targeted. I don't know if this is enough units to kill the Planetary, but GuMiho isn't repairing, and the Zerglings continue to stream through. GuMiho's... Oh, the lurkers actually stabbed forward. And Ragnarok, while he took the base, he lost all his lurkers here, which... Lurkers are kind of an incredibly... They're a very important part of all this. Another round of Banes. Remember, behind this, Ragnarok has 4,000 minerals a minute. He has 97 drones. He doesn't seem to care how much he loses. He might click on command centers and not kill them, which is a little awkward, but get 16 SCVs. 1 SCV to repair, which feels like a bit of an undercommitment. Advanced ballistics on the way, but Ragnarok still has a full economy to bring to bear. He's now at 2,500 mineral lead. But that means GuMiho's army supply is huge. He needs to get across the map and try to lay down a killing blow before Ragnarok can whittle him down, because now he does not have the economy to replace his army. Ragnarok's just going to keep hitting him. It's only going to get worse as time goes on. Widow Mine's finding some surprising connections. How many lurkers? 0. He's actually focused more on just straight-up Hydraling Bane. GuMiho not moving out. He's kind of just waiting for Ragnarok to wind up again. Which, Oh, wow. Oh, another mine hit. The mine's on the edges, and Ragnarok is not that diligent about taking him out. It's keeping him in it here. It's keeping GuMiho intact, at least for now. Ragnarok has lost 7,000 more minerals and 3,000 more gas, which, if we slice the map in half, is bad news, but GuMiho is not able to mine his fair share so far. He's just content to let Ragnarok wear himself out. He's playing for the end game, based on the fact he's not attacking. He's going to have to challenge one of the center bases. Ragnarok has mined 10k more. And you see some of that reflected in the bank. Oh my god. He's going to have like 50 Banelings with this army. A huge amount. 50. He has more Banelings than Zerglings. But it's 154 army supply for GuMiho. He is content to let his stronger army do the talking, as opposed to trying to wield a massive economic hammer. Burrow is on the way. Just gonna make it... He's gonna mine one base at a time at this rate. GuMiho is straight up playing for the end game. That is so many banes. It's the only way to really increase the value of your army is the Banelings. You gotta be careful to have other units behind them, though, because once the Banelings attack, they are gone. Aspire is on the way, +3 vehicle weapons, followed relatively closely by +3 missile attack for the Zergs. The 2 bases on the left side of the map still... Oh my god! That Widowmine now has 23 kills. getting some juicy hits on the Zerglings. Ragnarok hitting both sides here. The Ghosts, oh, more mules mining. GuMiho actually has money in the bank. Banelings don't even have any targets here is the issue. Just straight up bio-army. Parasitic Bomb is okay. But there's just not enough units. He needs 118 Zerglings in production, so that's not lurkers. But, wow, okay. He's sniping Banelings. The most obvious burrow. 100 more Zerglings, morphing everything. Lurkers and Banelings and Hydras, oh my. The Widow Mine takes its toll, but the Zergling count is so damn high. Cloak on the Ghost, pretty good fighters themselves. Tank taken out, the production about to be vulnerable. GuMiho still exposed, wishes those were real Marines. Another round of Banelings, waves upon waves of them. Oh no, the Ghost! The Ghost! The Ghost! Oh no! A disastrous and expensive snipe! Except this time the Ghosts weren't the ones sniping. They themselves taken out. And the Lurkers burrow. That's gonna be a painful fight if the bio units want to take it. Does he have... There is no high-sec auto-tracking nor building armor here either. Which is quite late considering we're at the every upgrade stage of the match. Banelings boxing out for the Lurkers. About as good of a bio-concave as you're gonna get, but this is still gonna be an expensive fight for GuMiho. This is a fight he can't afford to lose. And he doesn't. But he can't really afford to win either. He's down to 135 supply, 34 SCVs, and still has 30 more army value. Well, not value so much as supply itself. So, not solar. Ragnarok reminds me of solar. Ragnarok with 13k more minerals lost and 4,000 more gas. But he still is maxed with money in the bank. Another wave of Lings and Banes just running over the bio army, and GuMiho taps it out before the Banelings can connect. G. What an overwhelming army. GuMiho, I'm surprised, like, while he was playing for that late game, he was being more cost-effective, but at some point, the economic war is not the only one. He just has so many units, and when you wait that long, you give some juicy targets for the Banelings. And that means GuMiho, kind of playing a mech turtle style, but with bio units, which are, as we know, his flesh is weak and malleable, and dies easily to Banelings. So, Jimmy, game 2. Why did they switch color? Oh my god. At least it's not a mirror match. Still, a fun game. You can definitely tell these players, they make mistakes. Across the board. Ragnarok eating mine hits left, right, and center. GuMiho partitioning his army in a way that leaves the ghosts exposed. But Ragnarok just able to keep up the production. Whenever you get to have 100 Zerglings, 118, over half the supply of Zerglings in production at one time. I mean, I think you take that opportunity. That's one of the most fun ways to play, like a cinematic swarm Zerg. If your opponent lets you do it, you take that opportunity. I want to talk about GuMiho's opener, though. 3cc on location into Hellbat drop bio. I think if Ragnarok hadn't gotten that Baneling counterattack in, it was a devastating 22 SCVs. If that Baneling counterattack doesn't happen, GuMiho's momentum is significant. Like, he's able to control the map, and he already has a better economy. But 22 SCVs dying to Banelings makes you reevaluate. And it just kind of walked in there, too. It was before speed. I missed it. GuMiho missed it. Ragnarok probably just queued it up. I really wanted to see where he was going with that build, but it did really undercut it. Leave it to GuMiho to play mech while going bio. So far, the standard playbook. I don't think he'll go for the third at the third. Ragnarok eventually scouted it. That is something like, you can break that out like 1 in a dozen games maybe, but it's not a reliable method. Building the third on the third is 2 counterattacking Zerglings away from ruining your entire game plan. In fact, even against Protoss when Terrans build their third on the third, I feel like it's risky enough. Now, maybe I'm just not an aggressive enough player, but even 1 Zealot or Adept getting in and delaying it makes it not worth it. Of course, the values you don't have to float it over. You get a couple extra SCVs, but if you're delayed by like 30 seconds, you've lost all that advantage, as well as making it easier to scout. So, clever, but unreliable. Ragnarok going for the triangle third. He did this in the previous match as well. Most players will go for the horizontal, the linear third. Partially to be a little further away from their opponents, and partially because the triangle third here, you see under the main base, is pretty easy to threaten both the main and your third base simultaneously. What I mean is, okay. So GuMiho's running by with Hellions against Slowlings before speed is finished, but he loses one. Okay, looks like he'll get a drone. That's his first round now. Okay, that wasn't great. I don't know if that was a misclick or he was trying to get in before speed, but he did lose the first 2 Hellions to Slowlings mostly, so that wasn't ideal. Yeah, it was not good. He's got enough minerals for a third now. Looks like he'll slap it down on location again. We're waiting. Oh! GuMiho. Ooh, Gumi, no. Gumi, bro. Lining up for a Gumi throw. This is not a good start. He has now lost 5 Hellions, and he's killed two drones, but he didn't go for a quick third command center, and he is going mech. It's happening, and he is keeping map control with Hellion Banshee, which is very important when you're taking a third on location. But overall, it hasn't gotten the damage yet. Maybe these Hellions will. The Cloak Banshee is actually catching the Queen. Brando, where are they? We should have expected this. It's GuMiho. Once again, the Hellions look like they might have a sick opportunity to do damage, and once again, they die horribly. But the Banshees, on the other hand, slipping and sliding around, manipulating the high ground, forcing the Queens all the way back. The Zergling counterattack, though. The third command center, very importantly, is done now. Immediately getting the gas, as those mechanical units demand it. Even the factories take gas, which is very important to note. So you're left with less in general. Double armory. Full on, I think this is classic mech. Not the Attack of the Clones, but instead... wow, he's making more Hellions. Is this going to be Thor's? Or... Okay, he's getting Blue Flame. Maybe it is Cyclones. I'm not sure. Has Ragnarok? No, he hasn't seen anything yet. Armories are done. Now's the moment. Now's the moment. What are we gonna build? Give me Thor's. Give me Thor's. The hammer drop. Oh. Thor's hammers on Ragnarok. I wish I followed that up with a great joke, but we'll see if it will be truly time for Ragnarok or if Thor will prevail. Something like that. I didn't pay attention in my Norse mythology class. Well, the Hellbat's doing pretty well against the Zerglings, which try to get us around, which is, you know, look, don't touch with the Hellbats. Blue Flame on the way. The double medevac. This is a classic build. I haven't seen this build essentially since the last time GuMiho played, as he's the only one willing to take the risk and drop the hammers. He's throwing away so many Hellions. He has now lost about as much as Ragnarok has, but it feels like he's lost a lot of momentum there. But Ragnarok has been stuck in his base. He doesn't... Well, now he knows what to expect. Yeah, now he's got a very good idea, because he's being shot at by Thors, which probably should have started with that high impact mode to do the extra damage against single target. But here we are. Come back here. God. This is maybe the most expensive way to kill Overseers. Why would I build Vikings when I can build what Vikings worship? Which, I guess, good point. And oh my god, Swarm Host. It's happening! Nidus Swarm... What year is it? Nidus Swarm Host against Thor Mech. He's not even, like... He didn't like the Marine drops, okay? He wasn't a big fan of the Marine drops, but instead, here we are. Oh, that Hellion is very lucky. The cloaking device working perfectly, but not against the roaches. Nidus on the right flank. The Swarm Hosts are a beautiful choice. Oh no, the armories are there. Does he know that? He doesn't. Oh my god, Ragnarok. Why are you using the... Well, this isn't going to work out. The Thors, yeah, not great. The Nidus is going to... Well, let's go to the GuMiho action cam. He's going to hear it. Wait, did he hear? He already heard it. He knows it's coming. Oh, no. A disastrous Locust drop. And the units are cut off. He can't even defend his base. It's very lucky for GuMiho that the Locust didn't go for the armory, because he didn't know it was there. The Thors dropped in the middle of the map. He loses one. Almost snipes off the Nidus, but it's not quite enough. Ragnarok is maxed. And it looks like he might roll GuMiho before he even gets started. 2-2. The Swarm Hosts are recharging. The Locusts are real danger here. The Hellbats need to be in position to block them out. The tanks themselves stacked up. Wait, he only fired 2 shots. Okay, so the tanks will live, which is it's a huge deal, actually, right now. Those tanks still living. The Hellbats need to be in position to save the Thors. I guess the medevacs can help as well. Those tanks, I think he'll get the shots now. He fires 2 shots, which means he doesn't kill all the... You really... Ragnarok! 3 shots! 3 shots! You need 3! Oh, no. The Thor's being microed back and forth. The medevacs are mostly for Thor micro now, which is kind of hilarious. Hellbats get healed by them, technically, but at this point... Alright, will he fire all 3 of the shots? This time he makes sure it's dead. But the problem is 2-2 is done and GuMiho is living! Like, Ragnarok has bundled this. He's got one more wave. Like, these Locusts could be a huge deal here, but there are Hellbats, which are very helpful. And the Thors themselves, with only... I mean, he'll get another tank or 2. But the Hellbats, and now without the Locusts, GuMiho strikes back! The Thors slamming the point home. GuMiho once again finds himself at a significant worker deficit. But +2/+2. These are high damage tanks. And a lot of armor on those Thors. Means you need overwhelming forces to take them out. And Ragnarok seems like he's panicking a little bit. Like, oh my god, I didn't kill him. Oh no, I have all these Swarm Hosts. Oh, I hate these units. Who does it? The Knight is being dealt with. The Swarm Hosts have recharged. Going for the 3rd. GuMiho has to manage it. You gotta be very careful. The Thors pick up. Another round of Locusts into the 3rd. The Thors! GuMiho looking the other way! He picks up 2, but the others do not survive. The tanks retarget. He's stacked all 3 tanks! Oh, baby, a triple! Oh, some rookie mistakes there with the tanks against the Ravagers, but still critical and terrible, terrible damage being dealt by the others in the natural. The thing is, Ragnarok doesn't have to let up. He's got 74 drones. He's got a hive on the way. He's got 17 more roaches in production, and the swarm hosts are still intact. GuMiho cannot sit back. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse. He keeps losing units with every wave of the Locust, and while he's defended strongly, defense isn't gonna cut it. The best defense is a good offense against swarm hosts. The Locust looking to drop down on the tanks. They find the flank at the back. Actually, a bit of an awkward scenario. The corrosive biles aren't particularly great, but GuMiho has to find a way to deal with those swarm hosts. They're continuing to increment damage. Roaches are endlessly replaceable, aptly named. But GuMiho is just sitting back like he's going to be able to build a death ball, but his supply gets knocked down to the same level every time. The only saving grace for GuMiho right now is that Ragnarok has not been at hive. That means, oh, he's gonna drop the Hellbats! And then he's gonna pick them right back up. He got a full Locust wave. This is it. This is the opportunity. He drops on the Ravagers. He roasts them immediately. And then heals as well to keep them intact. The Locust trying to make their way to do any damage, but beautiful control out of GuMiho. He waited for his moment, and he held the line. But can he strike across the map? 5 drones were killed. I assume a Liberator, maybe? Maybe a couple Hellions? And they do have +2 here, but +2 carapace on the drones. I'm not sure if that means 2-shotting drones. I used to know this. It's just been so long. Triple Ravager knocks down a Liberator. Uh-oh. Round the Locust coming in. GuMiho struggling to ever get above 150 supply, and the struggle will continue. Hellions slipping by. The Roaches aren't here to combine. GuMiho lands a 4th. Nope, no, that was the right spot. We've all been there. There should be Vipers out soon. 3-3 starts for Ragnarok. GuMiho almost at 150. He's been in limbo for so long. The Thors are once again picked up. There's so many Roaches and Ravagers. He needs the tanks. The tanks. There's only 3 Ravagers, so some changelings here. He's actually, oh my god, it's the Attack of the Clones. But there's still enough swarm hosts. Oh, that's a beautiful Locust drop. The Hellbats are nowhere to be seen. They were Hellions. Oh, he got all the tanks. That is disastrous. Oh, another Thor dies, and GuMiho with it. Oh, I wish he found his footing. This was shaping up to be really, like, it was still a cool defense, and you could see all the pieces of the puzzle there, but he just couldn't solve it in time. Really cool to see the strategy out of GuMiho, but Ragnarok does what you really should do against someone who's playing a little bit weird, a little bit crazy, which is punch him in the face as many times as possible. Never let them do what their plan was, and you won't have to prepare for it. Ragnarok with strong macro execution and an execution of GuMiho. Thank you to Wardy for these tournaments and putting them on and check them out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, check out more. Be awesome. If you could do from recommended videos, but also here, but also recommended videos. That's what we're doing. What did you think? Is Mech the future, or is it stuck in the past? Also, what's your favorite order from McDonald's? Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.